Historically, we haven't been insulated.
Yeah.
You said it earlier, 90% of the wealthiest Americans get their wealth from real estate, right? Us as a culture, we have to get insulated. We're playing defense, right? We're on the defense.
Right.
But once we get insulated and gather those opportunities, because the average interest rate since 1994 is 8.4%.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If you would have brought me a property back in when interest rates were 2%, 3%, I would have told you, well, whatever the list price is, add $50,000 to it, and then that's where the starting price is going to be at. Right now, at 7.2% interest rate, you're able to get closing help.
Yep.
Lenders have programs called a 2-1 buy down that can get you in a property for the first 2 years at a 4% interest rate.
What?
Yep. So those are the things.
Pause, bro. Pause.
Yep.
You're saying right now there is a way to where you can get closing assistance from the builder or even from the seller.
Yep.
But then the banks, there is a way to where you can get a 4% for the first 2 years?
Yes.
Why should I do that?
It's called so for flexibility and leverage.
Okay.
Right? So it's called a 2-1 buy down.
Okay.
And sometimes the seller can pay that closing cost. Back before interest rates went up, you would have, I can buy points on my loan. Right?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
Right. Now, lenders are getting savvy because they need loans, right?
Right.
And they're saying, hey, what is a way we can get home buyers into the marketplace at an easier feeling?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right? To make it feel a little bit better on them.
Right.
Well, they're taking the closing costs from the seller.
Okay.
They're buying the interest rate down for the first 2 years, right? First year, 4%. Second year, 5%. And guess what? Guess what's supposed to happen in that time frame?
Right.
Interest rates are supposed to go down, and you still can refinance if you need to. You're not tied to it.
Or do we think? Because people listening to this right now will go to their bank and say, "Hey, man, I want to get into a home, but can I get a 2-1?"
Yep.
Realistically, do we see the rates going down in the next 24 months?
I think so. I think so. I think we got another 8 to 12 months of where we are now. You know, I don't have a crystal ball, but that's what I think. Spending is too high right now.
Right.
The government likes to have inflation around 2%, right?
Right.
And so once we control that cost, I do see interest rates coming down.
Okay.
And we see that reflected in the amount of transactions that we have.
Yeah.
That we see.
Okay.
Both from our own company as well as from other, nationally. The amount of transactions is really similar to last year. So we kind of expect, at least from a real estate perspective, that last year's amount of transactions and this year's amount of transactions should be similar. And that's based really on where the interest rates are still kind of in that same range. Yeah.
So I want to talk more about this because I love how when you all come on to the show, we do a lot of teaching, right? And so to get into a home right now, what does that credit need to look like? When I think about that, you know what I'm saying? Like what exactly do I have to have? Because I know pre-COVID, you can get into a home with a 580. Yeah. But you're paying a crazy interest. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Same. Yep.
It's still the same now?
Yep. Still the same 580 credit score, but interest rate is going to be higher, of course. For most programs out there, 640 is the minimum score for most first-time home buyer programs.
Okay.
So if you're leveraging a program or down payment assistance, grants, things of that nature, it'll be a 640 credit score.
640 credit score. Yeah. How much money do you need in the bank?
That's a good question. It depends on the sales price. So I typically like to say at least have about 6% of the sales price in the bank, just in case.
Is that 6% of the sales price, right, in the bank after down payment, or is that total?
Total.
Okay.
Total.
All right. So do banks look at, okay, once you pay the down payment, they also want to see how much money do you have left in your account?
That's called seasoning, right?
Yes.
So I said 6%, but 3% is for down payment.
That is down payment, and then 3% is the seasoning that you're talking
closing
about.
costs.
Closing costs.
Yep.
Okay.
So you got your down payment, and then you have your closing costs, right?
Yes.
And those are the two things people think, my down payment is both. No, you separate those two, because guess what? sometimes you can get that closing cost paid for.
Right,
And
right.
you only have your down payment to put down,
yeah.
especially in the high interest rate market, remember?
Right.
So that's what you want to have total in your bank account.
Let's dive into something exciting. Bethel Tech's micro credential program. Just 15 weeks and you're on your way to mastering in-demand tech skills, setting you apart in today's competitive job market. And the best part, it's all online, 100% online and fitting perfectly into your busy life. Bethel Tech isn't just about tech skills, it's about growing your character through spiritual mentorship and faith groups, shaping you into a Christian leader in the tech world. You'll learn from industry experts geared towards your success. What about landing your dream job? Bethel Tech's graduates are making waves at companies like Salesforce and Dell. And with a price tag of only $5,000, it's an investment in your future that's both affordable and valuable. Are you ready to start? With multiple start dates, there's never been a better time. Visit AnthonyONeal.com/Bethel. Again, that is AnthonyONeal.com/Bethel. And step into your tech career with confidence and character. Is this a seller market or the buyer's market?
It's still a seller's market.
It is?
Yeah, just it's off of the definition of a seller's market, supply versus demand. There's just not a lot of inventory. There are more buyers that want to be in the market than are homes available. Now, granted, there are less buyers now, but the fact still stands. There's still more buyers than homes available. We can't get over that. You can't, outmarket that. You can't outthink that. That's a simple equation. And that's where we are.
You know, Ryan, Keith put me into a home 3 years ago, just put a pool into. Give me, what would you tell me in my situation? I know what Keith was saying in my situation, but I'm curious, what would you say?
Okay.
I want a modern home. When I was looking with Keith when I first moved here 3 years ago, we couldn't find a modern home on the market. It was horrible out there. After the modern home, I wanted a home with the pool in the backyard. There was only one on the market, and when he reached out to get that home, it was sold.
Yep.
I get a home now, beautiful home, 6,000 square feet, just put a pool in the backyard, put about $200,000 into the home. Still just me, but I want a modern home.
Okay.
Should I sell or should I keep my house right now that I have in today's market?
Tell them your interest rate.
My interest rate is right at 4%.
Okay.
Yeah, my interest rate is right at 4%. We bought the home for like right at about $750. It's worth now, I think, right around 1.1.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I want a modern home.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like traditional homes. I live in a very older neighborhood. I'm the youngest one and the only single person in the hood. But it's like, and I respectfully say this, I know my neighbors watch it, love all y'all, but can none of them touch me on my landscaping and what you know what I'm saying?
Hey, this man's a landscaping king, man. He's a landscaping king, man.
I'm serious, man.
That's what he cares about. I promise you.
I'm serious.
Say they can't touch me.
Curb appeal is just big for me. Like,
sure.
You can't have a 7-figure home and then it looks like crap when you pull up, you know? And I am going to say this to hold all my neighbors accountable. Some of them have crappy. Rewind. Some of them are not good stewards of what God has blessed us with. Put it like that. That's a good way to put it. Right?
Yeah.
You know, so, and I'm like, nah. You know, and so what, should I sell? Should I rent? Should I go buy and rent this out? Like, what would you say in my situation from this particular situation that I just presented?
Well, I will say for you in particular, you.
Okay, me.
All right.
Not y'all.
Not
y'all. Me.
There you go.
Blessings.
You walked down that line. You walked down that line. I'm glad you said that.
For you in particular, I would say you keep that property and you rent it out. You rent that property. Now, that being said, you got to look at the rental market and say, does the rent cover the mortgage?
Okay.
I'm going to assume that it does based off the interest rate that you have, the amount of mortgage you still owe, compared to the amount of equity that you have.
Okay.
I will bet a bottom dollar that you should be able to rent it out for more than what you owe every month.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that's the case, then I think you can keep that home and then go buy you another one.
But do we even have modern homes in the DMV area?
You can build one too.
Yeah, but I'm gonna spend an arm and a leg for that mug. Right, it is.
What you want.
It is what it is.
You want
You know what I was thinking about doing was waiting 2 years. Like stay in the house for 2 more years, either pay off the house that I'm in now, or pay it down a lot, and then do what you said, pocket it. Or I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I'm thinking right now. But it's like I don't want to sell that home because it's a beautiful home.
Right. Yeah.
And I know I can rent that out.
You rent it out, and you got the equity built in there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
You haven't even dived in the pool 10 times yet.
I haven't dived into it once yet. It's too cold.
Exactly. You keep it.
Yeah.
It makes sense to keep it. Go buy you some more investment properties and properties. When you're ready to really build a modern home, find some land.
Yeah.
Build a modern home. But you got more assets that you can pick up right now.
Yes.
Because of the plays that you've made in the past.
Yes. Yes.
Right. You got so much out there that you can go do.